Hello, and welcome to Twin Peaking, where I showed my friend Jay my personal list of worst to best episodes of Twin Peaks, and she sees if she can figure out what the show is. If you're liking the show, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell anyone you think might be interested. Also, please make sure to go follow my friend Jay at twitch.tv/JanuaryK. That's January K-A-Y. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey Jay, how's it going?
Good. How are you, MacK?
I had I don't think we've talked about it, but I had a glue accident at work where I got covered in 300 degree. It was like 175 Celsius degree glue.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. You did mention that, but we haven't talked about it extensively yet. So. Well,
I haven't mentioned it here. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a real, it sucks because it was like also right as I was gearing up to get back and do a ton of stuff on the YouTube, and it was right as I was gearing up to do a lot of whatever, right? And then it's like, nope, I'm actually going to take a week wrapped in gauze and sleep in, and
so sad.
So that's how I've been. Like I'm still dealing with it. Like the arm one's healing okay, and I can kind of show that off on camera a little bit. It's not super gross or anything. But the ab one, not so much because of where it's at. It's always on the waistline, and so if I move with pants, it'll tear it, and it'll.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it just mildly stings whenever I wear clothes too. So it's just a good time. We're having a good time over here in Fort Mac. Yeah. But you're doing okay?
I am doing okay. I would say okay is okay, you know?
Yeah. By the time this comes out, you'll have done your rebrand.
Yes, that's true.
And have your new VTuber out, and we'll have by the time this one's out, because we're like 6 in behind now.
Is it really that much? Oh my gosh.
We have 6 in the backlog now, I believe.
That's actually crazy. That's a lot. Oh my gosh.
But because of that, your visual novel should be out, yeah?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I want to plug this at the top because I don't know who listens all the way through.
Fair enough. I am super excited about that. That's been a project that I've always wanted to do, but never had the time to actually execute it. And so the rebrand gave me a reason to do it, and gave me basically a deadline. I'm very deadline driven. So when I had my deadline, I was like, okay, I will actually get it done. So yeah, the first 5 chapters of the visual novel should be out and available to play. For those that are interested. So yeah.
That's amazing. And what's it called?
It's called The Whimsy Days of January K.
All right. Yeah, go check that out. Wherever that might be available. Have you just just on
it's just on itch. I recently learned that there's a very big fee to list on Steam, and I was like, I don't have that kind of money, so it's on itch.
That's fair enough. Yeah, 100%. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, MacK. Thank you.
Yeah. So to get on topic, I should warn you that on this episode, I'm going to have to come out swinging a bit when we talk about stuff, because I think as we get into better and better episodes, things are going to get more controversial.
Okay.
There's definitely people who think you shouldn't see this yet.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I'll see if my opinion changes, but off the top here, as I was thinking about this as I showered getting ready for the record, like, I don't like this episode. There's just a few things that elevate it, and we'll get into that elevate it to the spot it's in. But like, I'm gonna be fighting for my life here of being like, hey, It's not as good as y'all think.
Okay. Because, not to spoil it before we watch it, but I know this episode it's in the middle of like episodes that it's like right dab there, like it is.
It's
like
one
I feel
gap
like,
that you've had between
yes,
part A of season 2 and part B of season 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the missing piece that I've needed for a while. Like it's been this hole. So I don't know what to expect of it. I'm not sure where in the pendulum this episode will swing for me. If it's gonna be like more detective-y or more supernaturally, because like I don't know where it swings yet. I don't know where it swings for me. So I'm very, very, very excited to watch this episode.
All right. Well, let's not keep you in suspense much longer. Let's get into it. Okay. Yep. So, hey Jay.
Hi.
This was season 2, episode 9, Arbitrary Law.
Arbitrary Law. Okay.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the episode?
I have thoughts.
Yes.
It is a little all over the place.
Yes.
I think the reason I enjoyed watching it was because there's so many revelations, and my notes reflect that significantly. I have a lot of notes.
Yes.
Some of them don't make sense, but I think I enjoyed watching it. It felt like a very I mentioned this at the beginning, and I'll reiterate it because it remains true. This was a missing piece that I needed for the narrative. I needed this episode to figure out what was going on. So I enjoyed that episode otherwise. Yeah, but the episode's a little all over the place.
Yeah, I may have whipped myself into a frenzy beforehand, because there was a point in this episode, and we'll get to it, where I did like talk to you and was like, this show sucks. Like,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, I love Twin Peaks with all my heart. This is so much worse than I thought it was. Like
Oh, really? Okay.
There's a shining light in here, which is the very, very end with Leland Palmer and Dale Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's a very good scene.
That
and we'll get into it.
Yes, we'll get into it. I do want to talk about that scene.
But like, so like the entire time in the heavy lifting of my memory of this episode, like it's like, well, it has that scene. How could it not be higher? How could it not? And like this time watching it, I was like, there's so much horse shit in this episode and garbage and things that don't respect like the things that the show is about, and things that are like, I would say disrespectful to what the show talks about and is about in this episode. I'm like, I am angry.
Oh,
a little bit.
Okay.
And so like we're watching it, I'm like, this sucks. I'm not having a good time like watching this episode. And like, yeah, that last section's pretty all right. Like I great performances. Don't want to take it, but like, oh my god, this episode sucks. Okay. I have a feeling, because normally how our podcast goes, it's like me theorizing. Yes. And like I don't think I can do a lot of theorizing in this episode. No,
because
you got a lot of answers, which sucks.
And so I feel like this is going to be a MacK ranting episode. I have a feeling that's what this is gonna be. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, because like, you know, the big thing now about the first 2 seasons, and because you've seen the rest of season 2 at this point too, except for the very end. And so I can openly talk about some shit.
Yeah, you can. Okay. Now you can.
Let's start talking about this from talking about the episode that came before this, season 2, episode 8.
Okay.
We'll get into the scene by scenes.
Bring up my notes.
But yes. Okay. Well, there's something I remember distinctly, and you've rewatched this podcast episode that came out with it recently, so you may recall this.
Okay.
There's a point in there where
yes. Okay.
Where like. You keep bringing up something like there's something about this that is annoying, but you don't know what. And I'm like, I think you're picking up on something that you don't have the context or the information for. A trope that I hate, that I think you also hate, but you don't know it's happening because you don't have the context or the information. Right?
Yes, I do remember you saying that. Yes.
That Leland Palmer is the killer and is psychotic and the villain. And the thing that like I hate when there's a reveal of that and then the next episode or whatever, suddenly they're off the wall villainy. They're just not at all what they were before. Yeah. And I know that like that is a true thing with serial killers. After they get a kill, they'll ride a euphoria or whatever, and that's usually how they get caught anyways. But like it's so cartoonish in that episode. But you didn't know that he was like necessarily the overall killer. You just thought like he had been going down this thing. But like with that revelation, it's like, oh, like before this, at some point we found out that he was, and now he's acting this way. And you've seen him a few other times where he doesn't really act that way. He's always been off of it, but he's not like that idea of the killer now is, because the audience knows, they are so cartoonishly overplaying it. That's annoying.
Yeah. I think you're right that it is something that I was hoping for a different kind of answer, that it wasn't I was hoping that my theory was right, that Leland it was just so heavy with like the information that like people around him are dying kind of deal, that he just went crazy and killed Maddie. Like I was hoping that was kind of the thing, but now knowing that seeing how cartoonish it ends up being is frustrating. It's a little frustrating. The thing that made me annoyed was we'll get into it, but it's the scene with Donna that really frustrated me.
Which one? Because there's a few of them that annoy me.
The one in the living room. The one in the living room really frustrated me. But yeah, when we get into it, I'll talk about why.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah,
we should probably start going scene by scene.
Yeah, I guess we'll start going at scene by scene. Yeah,
so it opens up with a shot of Maddie Ferguson dead, wrapped in plastic, where then it kind of transitions to a hero walk of Coop, Albert, Hawk, and Harry, and it's a very cool shot.
It's a very cool shot.
The first time I saw this, I was like locked in, being like, hey, let's go. I'm going to enjoy this. The very first time I saw it, I was like, I remember recording a voice note for Evie being like, oh my God, there's this hero shot and it's so cool. I'm just walking, I'm like, oh, we're in for it now, right? Little did I know. I also think this is a good point to talk about something else that annoys me about this episode, and I'll keep highlighting it every time in scenes that it happens. But I think the last episode that we saw from the pre-season 3 before this was another episode directed by the same guy, Tim Hunter, I believe.
Hunter, yes.
Yeah.
The one-armed man. Oh, no. Is it that one?
Yeah, the one-armed man was the episode.
Yeah, the one-armed man. Yes.
And we had talked about like how he has some like really cool camera shot stuff, and then I brought up like, oh, it's that same director as a thing you haven't seen yet, but he sometimes does this thing where he'll do cool shots, but they're unmotivated, and you're like, why the fuck are you doing that? I think I brought that up. That episode. That's this episode. That is this episode. There's so much of that in this episode like, oh, here's a cool framing, here's a cool camera thing. And it's like, but what are you saying with that? The one that tripped me off, and I immediately started to go off on this. The first time I saw it was Norma with her mom at the diner, and we'll get there. But like even here, right as they're coming through with the hero walk, and all the boys are surrounding and they're talking about what to do about it.
The camera's off kilter.
Dutch angles for sure, and you use Dutch angles in order to convey like something being off or off kilter, right? Like you use that to convey that, which you could say would make sense because of the murder or whatever. But in context of what they're talking about, it doesn't feel necessarily correct there. Like I would give it more benefit of the doubt if the rest of the episode wasn't this way. But because the rest of the episode is kind of this way, I give it less benefit of the doubt of like, you could say, all right, this is because a new murder has happened and they're thrown off guard or whatever. But what they're talking about is like, you are on the path and you just have to believe it and go do what you need to do. You're going to do this. And it's like that kind of speech doesn't happen when you do a Dutch angle typically. Right. You do that when like somebody's upset or it's like uncharacteristic, or like if they were thrown off kilter, if they were like, we don't know what to do about this, right? That's when you would use it, but not when they're like, you got this. Like that's a weird place to use that.
That's fair. That's fair. I upon first watching this episode from a first watch, it did set the tone for the episode for me of like, this isn't a regular episode kind of deal. Like this is not that, like it clued me that this was a supernatural episode versus Coop and Detective Coop and his friends solving a murder kind of episode, you know? It definitely set that tone, but I agree upon looking back that you're right. There is no reason why that camera angle should exist, but it does do the job of, like, at least for me, it did the job of like, oh, okay, like this is like, it's a supernatural episode. Like we're gonna get into some crazy shit through this episode. So yeah, but
no, 100%. And like on a first watch through, a lot of this stuff's not going to hit you that way because you're like you're just taking in that information. This is the 6th time I've seen this episode, and I hate it more every single time. Like
fair
legitimately,
enough. That's very fair.
It gets worse every rewatch. Like it's such a bad episode, and there's going to be people out there who are like, oh, but it's so good because like whatever. And like you can have your opinions and that's okay. But it's borderline disrespectful. in my opinion, to I guess to what Twin Peaks means to me personally. So it might be a personal thing, but like this episode feels like And like Mark Frost helped write it. He's one of the big part. Like he is the other creator of Twin Peaks, right? It's like Mark Frost and David Lynch, right? Like, and a lot of people love to give David Lynch all the credit, but like Mark Frost is an important part of that. But like the fact that he made this episode is what I think makes a lot of people be like, it's David Lynch. Like,
okay,
like,
I see.
We'll get into it.
Okay.
It's fine. I can't spend this long on this part of it. But yeah, the camera angles in this are like, they would be cool if they were motivated, but they're not motivated. They're just cool. And so therefore they're shitty. Largely.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so during the talk with the boys, you even have Albert being like, hey, go on whatever vision quest you need, dance on the edge of the volcano, do what you need for this. And it's like, but that's not been Albert's role.
Right.
It's not Albert's role after this.
Yes, that was confusing to me. Because Albert, I like, it felt like someone needed to say it, so I guess it's Albert that says it, you know, because it would, like, out of all of them, it's not going to be Hawk that says it, it's not going to be Harry that says it, so it's definitely not Andy that's going to be saying it, so I guess Albert says that because the director of the FBI isn't there, you know what I mean? So I guess it has to be Albert kind of deal. It felt a little out of place for that.
Like, because Albert can believe in that stuff, but it's like, he's not the type to necessarily say it that way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like Albert would say it in a different kind of delivery. I think Harry could have pulled it off, but Harry would have had to. It would have to be delivered differently for Harry to have been able to pull it off.
Well, a lot of this episode feels like they needed to get to a point to wrap things up to start.
Yes.
Season 2.0.
I wanted to get into that in the next scene. Okay.
Yes. And like this is the start of that trend in this episode. Like I knew you were gonna pick that up, but like Albert saying that is specifically to get us to the end goal. Like it's not because that's a character trait that's like narrative needs to happen now.
Yeah, okay.
And that sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
And that's never been what the show's been about. Oh, okay. So, do you have anything else to comment on this scene before we move on to the next?
No, I do not. We can move on to the next one.
Okay, so then we have Donna and James in the most poorly lit corner of the diner. And it's so wild that it's lit this way because it's like, is this the diner? They could be at home, but then they walk into a scene later that is the diner. And so you're like, okay, so this has to be the diner that we see. The next shot of it is well lit. Why is it lit this way? It looks good. I like it. The heavy shadows, the light coming in outside. It's all sappy and romantic, but there's this darkness around. Fine. But like, that's not consistent with the scene you're building.
Yes, I agree. Especially because all of the scenes in the diner I've seen so far is not lit like that. No. Like it's like very well brightly lit, like in all corners of the diner. And so I was like, oh, I thought that they were at home. Like I did think that they were at like Donna's house or something like that. And so when it cut to the diner, I'm like, oh, we're back at the diner. Like that's what I thought. But
there. Like on a closer look, they are sitting in booths. Like it is like the setting is the diner. It's so fucking weird.
It must be the booth at the front, right? It must be that one booth at the front where Coop meets Annie. It must be that booth. Like that's what I'm thinking. It's that booth particular. But like I was like, I did not catch that at first when that first came
So to clarify for anyone who's confused about what this is, it does cut to just what looks like a dark room with a bright window outside that's coming in, and Donna's sitting in the booth, and James sits down, and they're being romantic, and James pulls out a ring that they put on the wedding finger, which is weird because I guess that's a proposal, because isn't promise ring supposed to be on the right finger?
Yeah, it's supposed to be the right finger. Okay, so that's why I was like, are they getting
so
married?
Like, they're engaged now, I guess, in the least romantic proposal I've ever seen. Because this is so funny. Like, so they walk in, James sits down, and he's like, I didn't know what size ring finger you have. And the lady at the jewelry store had big hands, but I have a feeling it'll fit you perfectly.
What a weird backhanded compliment. Like what a strange way
hey, babe,
to propose.
You have huge hands. Want to be engaged?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they put the ring on there. I don't recall anything else they say in this scene because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. James says, I want to be together all the time.
That's right.
And that's it. That's
because
the note.
It's setting up the next scene that they're in together. So.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, man.
So stupid. Oh, my God. Oh my God. When that scene comes up, I'll fucking complain about it. But like... Man, that was...
I think we're going to have fun recording this episode, but oh my God, this episode sucks. Oh, I'm crying. I can't believe I saved this so late. This should have been like early for like it would have ruined the experience for you, I think. So I'm happy for my own fuck up, but this wasn't intentional to put it here. I legit like it was coming off of the waves of, like I mentioned, like the ending scenes of whatever. So I'm like, okay, so it has to be higher.
Fair.
I think that this would be in the first 5 episodes you ever saw.
Really? Wow, you put it that low.
This is so trash. I mean, if you take out that scene, if you take out that one ending scene, absolutely. It's in the lowest
fair.
5.
Okay, interesting.
So, like, yeah, anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then it cuts, oh my God, insane camera angles again to Norma and her mom talking in the same diner. So I don't know if it's a separate scene or not, technically. But, like, there's an insanely high shot behind Norma. And then there's a low shot that frames up to Norma behind the mom. And, like, that can work. Okay, sorry. So it cuts to that and they talk about, like, how... let's talk about the scene first before I talk about how shit these camera angles are.
Okay.
So Norma says, like, nothing I can do will ever make you happy or whatever, and I try so hard. And the mom's like, these eggs are shit. Have you tried getting better eggs and some mushrooms? Kind of proving her point. That's the scene. Is there anything else in that scene before we go off on how bad shit this is? Yes.
I'm so proud of her. Yes. I love her. I was so happy to finally see her after so long of not seeing her. So that's all I have to say about that.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So there's these. The entire scene is a reverse shot, but like of these insane camera angles, and they could work if Norma like having it framed so high when Norma's talking to her mom, like from behind or whatever, or like when the mom's talking, like that can work because it would put Norma in a position of power, like in the cinematography, right?
Okay, but that's what I thought. Yeah. Continue. Sorry. Continue.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
She's not. No, she's not. That's the thing, is that she's not. Like, I was like, oh, is this Norma taking her power back? But then after the scene ended and I was remembering like where the storyline goes. I did that a lot this episode of like, oh, this is the scene where this happens. And then I thought like, oh, so that's where this ends up. I did that a lot. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like, is this Norma taking her power back from her mom?
No, she's put back in her place.
No, wait. I was like, wait a minute. That's the other episode that we watched where her mom is leaving town afterwards or something like that.
Literally the episode after this.
Yeah, it is the episode after this. Okay, so I was like, no, wait, that's the next scene that I see that. And so I was like, oh. And then I kind of just like wrote it off. I wrote off
that shot implies a power dynamic between them that isn't there, and more importantly is actively counteracted in the scene, because Norma's being there like, hey, I'm trying to open my heart and say like, this sucks, and the mom like shoots her down and puts her in place, and it's like she's the one with power in this scene, but the way the camera positions it is the opposite of that. It's
right. It doesn't make sense.
Unmotivated. It's just an interesting shot, not a motivated shot. And that sucks.
Fair enough. We got to see the eggs that the mom was eating.
The eggs look good. I kind of want eggs now.
They looked like a good omelet. So there's that. We got to see it from that angle. So cool. Very cool.
So then from there, it cuts to Andy speaking French poorly because that's actually mistranslated. Later, we find out that it's I am a lonely soul, but I think the actual French translation is something like it messes up the tenses to be something like I am lonely souls, like pluralizes it. It's like weird or something like that.
Oopsies.
Yeah, but that's besides the point. Andy's there, weirdly framed again, and then is just there with the food, but then saying French. Where Donna and James suddenly walk up, like out of frame, come and circle up around him, and it's like, wait, what are you saying? And so Donna is like, wait, I've heard that phrase before from Mini David Lynch at Mrs. Fremont's house. Have you? I don't remember. Have you seen that episode with the grandson and the old lady and the disappearing corn?
Disappearing corn. That doesn't sound super
I swear we've talked
familiar.
about it, but maybe
we have. Yeah, I don't. I do remember an old lady, but I don't know if that's that episode.
Happy Gilmore's mom. Yeah, you would have seen this. Would have been season 2, episode 4, I believe, or 5.
Okay.
So you would have seen this. Because she's like, yeah, my grandson does magic, and then he holds corn in his hand.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes, I do remember that. Yes.
And she's like, I don't like corn, which is important, even though it shouldn't be, but it is important. And I'll talk about that when we get more information later down the line. But so she's referencing that because during that time, the kid says the French line, I am a lonely soul or whatever, but incorrectly. And then she goes to meet Harold for the first time. Yes. Or doesn't. She sets it out in front of the thing and he peeks out behind the window. That's right. That's how we've seen that episode. Yep.
That's right.
So she's like, no, the grandson. And he's like, no, that was in Harold's suicide note. And you were shocked by that. And then Donna's like, oh, I need to go and talk to Coop, and runs off. Anything about that scene that you...
see, it's like, when we first watched this show, you remember the first couple episodes where I was like, I like Donna. Donna seems... I like her. She seems like a go-getter kind of deal.
The first few episodes we watched, you hated Donna. You were like,
"Oh yeah, I hated Donna," and then I liked her. That's right.
And James deserves better and doesn't deserve to be around all these women. But then you started to come back around on Donna. But the first few, I distinctly remember you being like, "This dumb bitch."
I'm misremembering it a little bit. Yeah. But then I did turn around on Donna. I did turn around. Yes. I do remember that. Mm-hmm. And then Donna slid down the rankings for me because she kept on doing stupid stuff. And then in this brief moment where she was like, I need to talk to Cooper, I was like, oh, is this Donna? Like the whole episode, it happens in a later scene in the reaction, but I was like, can Donna turn this around? Like, can she come back up for me? And she seemed like such a go-getter. She's like, I got to talk to Cooper. And I was excited. I was very excited for a brief moment there that Donna was getting there, so yeah.
Anything else to talk about in that in particular? Okay.
We can move on.
Okay. Again, the first time you watch this through with all of the context you have, you're like, oh shit, it's all coming together. But really, again, it feels like, no, he's only repeating that line there in order for plot to happen, for Donna to go find Coop, to bring, you're like, okay, it's not, why is he sitting there saying the French line? That's already a couple days old for him. Whatever. Sorry, I'm just... It makes... This episode just... It's upsetting. So then Donna and Coop go to the Tremont's house where they walk up to the thing together. At this time, they were dating, Kyle MacLachlan and
okay.
Oh my God, how am I forgetting her name? Lynn Boyle. Shit. Whatever her first name is. They were actually dating at this time, and this is one of the few scenes that they have together. And it's
interesting. Okay.
They have zero chemistry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just on screen.
I didn't know
but
that. I didn't know. That's crazy. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Reportedly, that's a big reason why Audrey and Cooper didn't happen, is because she didn't like that. But also part of it was that Coop didn't like, Kyle MacLachlan didn't like being with an underage girl for Coop either. Mm-hmm. So I think it was both things, but reportedly that's also apparently why Sherilyn Fenn and Laura Flynn Boyle got her first name. Reportedly didn't super get along on set.
Oh, interesting. Oh.
Yeah. But this is all through the grapevine, that nothing's official has ever come out about any of this. So,
right.
Except that Kyle MacLachlan and Laura Flynn Boyle were dating. That was a known public thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so they walk up, they go to the Tremon's house, and this lady just rocking it in old lady chic, like hell yeah, walks up and they're like, oh yeah, is your mom maybe here? And it's like, no, she's been dead 3 years. And she's like, no, but there's a kid, her grandson. And she's like, I never had kids. Like I love her so much.
So straightforward.
The entire time Coop's like, all right, let's walk away.
Let's leave. Let's go now.
And Donna's like, no, but like really. And Coop's like, I get it, but like this is not it. Like let's walk away. There was pages left for her from Harold from Laura's diary.
Yep.
Which begs the question this time for me of like, how did she get them? Because like, I don't think Harold would have posted it in the mail and then killed himself.
Yeah.
That feels weird, but he also couldn't leave the house. So it just feels like, oh, we have this gap that we need to fill. Here's more putty to yeah. 100%.
That's fair.
Yep. Any feelings on this before we get into the weirder part of the scene?
No, I think, yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Go for it. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you have the chance to talk, so it's not just all my waveform, and it's like, oh, hey, here's MacK talking over women again. Like,
no, a lot of what I have to say is later in the episode. Like everything in like, I want to say the first half of the episode was just me getting revelations of like, this is
the scene where you did put together that Harold killed himself. Like we brought it up last scene, but like, this is where you found that out.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't want to like, I was like, oh, did Harold like write a suicide note, but he's fine? Like I was holding out, and then it was just like, oh no, like Harold like died, like he's dead. So I was surprised.
There's a surprisingly shocking shot of like not to spoil anything, but like very explicitly, like we see a thing and it's like, whoa, this was on ABC Family.
Oh, okay.
About that. So he starts to read the diary letter that is almost less like a diary and more like, here is a walkthrough for the video game Twin Peaks of what we need to do next, or here's this clue to solve. Like it's so whatever. But she's like, yeah, I had this dream that I shared with Coop. This is interesting for you.
Yes.
I didn't realize how well I had placed these together.
You placed them very well together.
Yes. Though maybe the show is just like that. Maybe I could have fucked it up. But it's so interesting for you to have seen that here when we're talking about what the fuck season 3 episode 2 was.
Yeah.
Was that episode 2 or episode 1? But whatever. Like
that
whichever
was episode 2. It was episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I loved that. I don't know what it's like to watch this show in order, but when that scene comes out of like old Coop kissing Laura, and I was like, wait, this is a season 3. I was so excited, MacK. Like something inside me just like swelled with joy and like, wow, like this show is so well built. Yes. And like I don't even know like what the consequence of that is. I don't even know what that means yet, but I was so excited when I saw that. I was like, it just made me so happy to see like good world building, but like
yes.
It's very fun to watch a show out of order, but still have it be good. Like, yes. You know what I mean? Like this is good. Like I was like, wow. Like I still feel like I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I was so excited. I don't even know why I'm excited about it, but I was very excited to see that. So yeah, very happy.
Yeah. No, I was very curious about what your thoughts on that were, because like I remember you in that episode, episode 2 of season 3.
Yes.
Like you were like, yeah, them kissing is weird, and like I had kind of forgotten that it was weird the first time I had seen it until you said that, and I had to play it off like, oh yeah, 100%, and here's this, that, or other, because I'd been so prepped for it by that point that I was like, oh right, this isn't normal. Like this isn't established for you. Like so like when that was your initial reaction, I had to be like, no, you're right. It is weird. It was weird the first time I had seen it. At this point, it is like the echoes of things building on top of each other.
Yes.
And so I was just like, oh yes, it is weird, and maybe this is an interpretation. Like. So I was like, funny. As we see it again, I was like, okay, so what are your thoughts on it now? And it sounds like you have the same thoughts I do, which is that like it is weird, but it's cool for world building. Like that has like been around for so long. It's such a thing. Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, the rest of that letter talks about Bob wanting to get inside of her and light a fire or whatever. I don't know if I should bring it up here or later. I'll kind of start it here of like,
okay.
Mark Frost likes to give actual proper answers, right? Like whenever like I think he was like majorly in charge of X-Files, right?
I think so.
And like, so like, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, but like we're starting to see the things of like the version of the supernatural stuff that you hate, which is like, oh, it's starting to be like direct, here's the facts of the supernatural, which kind of sucks and goes against a lot of the show, right? And we're starting to see that here. And like with the way she talks about Bob in this letter feels, I don't know, like you can feel Mark Frost being like, here's the actual lore and here's this. And it's like, that's not what the show is. And like, it's just, it you can feel the like, well, we're going to get answers. And it's like, well, you don't want that. Right.
It's like, to me, because of the way that I'm watching it, I was like, yes, like I got an answer of like what is happening. But I do understand. It's like if I were to watch it in order, like because of how all over the place this episode is, that moment of reading the letter and it's like, I die to keep Bob away from me. Like that's something that Donna said from Laura's diary.
Yes.
That Laura wrote. And it felt like it was giving too much of the cake. Like it was too big of a slice to give the audience in that moment. It could have been broken down into like half of a slice, you know, like a little tidbit of like, so, like not giving away the whole thing. And it could have been given later in the episode because it basically kind of repeats itself with Leland in that last scene of like what happened there. You know, it could have been a better build up that way, even if it was in the same episode. It just could have been delivered a little bit better. So I do think that.
So from here we go back to the one-armed man, where we basically get a repeat of I mean, it's cool and I like him and his performance, but like Coop shows up to talk to the one-armed man who is going through it right now because they're withholding medicine from him in order to keep him in the state, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
But it kind of repeats what happened with the Dutch angles with the boys, is what I called the scene with like at the early with like Albert and Hawk and all them at the start. It kind of repeats that again, where it's like, you have the answers, just keep chasing it. Like don't worry, you're there, right? And yeah, I mean, good performances, I guess, but like again, it just feels very much like, here's a checklist to get to the end here, right? And like also like Coop's not solving anything right now.
Right.
He's just being directed to the next stage of the mystery. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
The difference between like you know, if you go to like a murder mystery dinner or whatever, and someone dies and you have to solve it, versus like an amusement ride of a murder mystery where you're just kind of going stage by stage, and you're like, I don't have the chance to solve this. It's a ride, not not an actual murder mystery. And that's how it feels right now to me. The one-armed man basically tells him, ask the giant, man. So how'd you feel about this scene?
I thought it was fine. Looking like it was fine. You're right. Like it does feel like I'm on a roller coaster and we're just going to the next, like, Coop is checking all the boxes kind of deal. Like, gotta check on one-armed man, gotta check on Leland, gotta check on, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't feel like he's doing investigating, which is fine. It's a supernatural based episode, but like in the back of my mind, and my initial feeling towards it, reflecting on it 20 minutes later, it's kind of a throwaway scene. Like I didn't get anything out of it. There was nothing to be said, because I imagine in season 1, the giant shows up at some point. I don't know. I'm just taking a guess here. So I imagine that it naturally, Coop is going to run into the giant and the ring kind of deal. I guess it was more so as a reminder to the audience of like, hey, this happened, but it doesn't add anything. Because if you're paying attention, you know that this giant stuff is probably coming up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it didn't add anything to me. It doesn't mean
there's
anything.
Another part here that, like, again, pisses me off of, like, where he's like, yeah, we formed a golden circle. And I actually kind of like that with him and Bob forming this perfect thing of like satisfaction and desire of like they used to be this perfect circle that then split apart or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
I like that. But then Coop's like, perfect circle, the ring, the giant took the ring. Like, like, that's the kind of answers it gives. Like, let's jump ahead. Later, when solving, like, no, but we do have clues. The little man danced in my dream. Leland loves to dance. And it's like, okay, that one I get because I kind of pieced that together. But then, like, there was also like a thing of like, and then his hair turned white and Bob had white hair. And it's like, come on. And then like Robertson, the sons of Rob. And it's like, clearly these were like David Lynch things that he left behind. Yeah. And Mark Frost and the rest of them were like, because he left a couple episodes before this, right? He left season 2, episode 7.
Okay.
And so like the one where Leland fucking loses it with the drive with the dead girl, and then this one were the only ones that like was where he stepped away that still had remnants left of Laura Palmer's murder, right? And so like, it's so clear that like that was like David Lynch stuff, and then Mark Frost and them were like, well, we're giving people answers. This is the answer episode, so we have to answer what these things mean. And it's like, you don't. Yeah. Let it be metaphorical. Let it be thematic. Yes. Let us like, right? You don't have to give us a direct answer of like, here's why XYZ thing, right?
Right.
And it consistently does that. It does that with the ring here, right? Of like, oh, here, this is solving something, right? Doesn't it feel like it's solved? No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. So anyways, Cooper leaves. There's a nice shot of him in the hallway, and then this old man comes by with the milk.
The milkman.
And he's like, it'll cool down on you, but it's getting warmer. And it's like, fuck you. Again, this is another David Lynch thing that you guys didn't understand. You don't know the context for this at all. But this is where it starts to get flat out disrespectful.
I see. Okay.
Of like, you guys don't understand what David Lynch brought to the show. Like, I understand it's not all David Lynch stuff. I understand that. But like, you have to at least be respectful of the stuff that he brought to the show. You can't just be like, all right, and here's you're getting warmer now, like the direct and it's like, fucking what are you doing? Like,
it sounds like this episode it's not leaving breadcrumbs, it was leaving loaves of bread towards a bigger piece of loaf of bread kind of deal.
Well, and we'll get to it at the end, but like, Plus, it doesn't go anywhere. Whatever. Okay, we'll get that. We'll get there. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the old man. Do you have feelings about this?
That milk looked good. Okay, next scene.
Good. Yes. They're in Ben's office with the frame job because we know Ben didn't do it. Where it's like, no, Maddie was here because she had the fur from a stuffed animal in her pockets, and there was a call, and it's like, okay, I guess like whatever. It's there to make Ben look guilty, even though we know that it's not Ben.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know why we need this scene. Do you have feelings on it?
I have no feelings towards it. It was like, oh, okay. And then, I took it as face value kind of deal. Like, okay.
Yeah, I guess it's stuff that needs to happen if you think it's him because he's locked up. And so you're getting like, okay, it could still be him.
Yeah.
So the essence of could have been an email scene. So then we get sprinklers and sperms is what I call the scene.
Okay.
There's this guy fixing the sprinklers at the police office. And Andy goes to talk to Lucy about it, or about like Lucy being pregnant and it being like, that's my kid. And Lucy's like, well, maybe, I don't know. You said you didn't have any sperm. And the guy gives this like amazing side eye to Andy.
I loved because the maintenance man is so like, it's everyone that is put in the position of like, oh, you're hearing something juicy, you gotta you gotta lock in and listen to this tea that's happening here. I loved that scene so much. It was very good.
And Lucy's like, but now you have sperm, so I don't know. And the guy's just kind of like looking over like, oh my god. And
what is going on here?
Eventually Andy leads her away to go call Dick to say, hey, we need to talk. Like a great comedic scene. I'm glad it's here because
I also glad it's there. It needed to break up stuff.
Yeah, like it's a dense episode before this for people who are watching for the first time, particularly for you out of order. It's also nice for me to have a reprieve of my hatred that is boiling over. And so like it's like, yes, okay, let this scene wash over me and let me reset for a minute. It's a very good scene.
I like it. Yes. It was fun for me to then like remember, oh, this kicks off Andy Dick friendship arc. Like I was like,
that lasted for too few episodes. It lasted for too few episodes. But
it was fun
good.
to realize the origin of that. So I was like, oh, that's fun. That's fun where this ends up. So I was excited about that. Yeah.
So after that, we get Ben also, okay, a couple banger scenes back to back, to be fair, because then we get Ben Horn in jail with Tajimura, and like he's losing his mind because Tajimura's like, hey, either sign the deal with this Ghostwood project with me or give me back my $5 million. And he's like, I'm in jail. I can't do shit. Right? And it's great back and forth that way. And you see him start to melt down. And then Tajimura takes off one of her shoes and it's the painted toenails. And he's like, Catherine? And she's like, hey. It's so good. Like he immediately gets on the floor and starts kissing her toes, and it's like a callback to like the first time with the foot stuff. It's so funny. It's so good. If you could get past the racism, Tajimura is such a funny thing to have in the show.
It's good. It's a good scene. Ben had a lot of shit thrown at him this episode. I can see where the Confederacy arc goes from here, because it's like, oh, like he went through some shit in 24 hours. Like he thought he was gonna go to jail. Then Catherine shows up, but then she's like, she does the Catherine thing, and then Ben goes crazy, and then Ben's brought to this stupid place where he's brought to the bar, and wondering. He's like, why am I here? And then he thinks he's going to jail, but then he's not. And like,
he watches his friend lawyer lose his goddamn mind in 0 seconds. Like, it took nothing the second he was in that room. But we'll get to that.
Ben definitely, like, I didn't realize how much I liked Ben until this episode, and I was like, oh, poor Ben, like, he is going through it right now. Like, this man has gone through some shit in the last.
He signs over the
episodes.
deal under duress. There's no way that stays, but it will. Right? Like, he signs over all this stuff that he worked so hard for, and then is told, like, well, I'll probably still let you go to jail, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my God.
Oh, Ben. Oh, Ben.
Yeah. Great scene.
Very good scene.
Yeah. So then Donna is in the Palmer household with Leland the first time, because I separated it into a part 1, part 2, because there's clearly a spot for an ad.
Yes.
With the Fade to Black. But so she's in there initially to drop off a tape of a recording of a song that her, Maddie, and James all did together. And she's worried about something a little bit. And Leland's like, it's okay. Leland also is like, are those Laura's glasses, right? And he clearly has a reaction to that, and finds out that Laura had a second secret diary. Separate from the actual diary that he turned over to the police. And knowing that who he is now, like he clearly looks panicked about that, of like, what was in that, and what was in that, right?
Right.
I think that's where the Fade to Black happens, and then he goes and gets lemonade for her. Oh, I think before that there was the mirror thing. Or was that after the Fade to Black?
No, mirror was in that first half,
Okay, yeah. So he walks up to the mirror, and we've seen this trick a few times. It feels like another misunderstanding of a David Lynch thing, but whatever. Where it's him fixing the thing, and then it's Bob looking fucking insane. Credit to oh my God, Frank Silva, like credit to him, right? The last episode of season 3 that we watched was dedicated to him. Rest in peace. Amazing. Again, one of the highlights is him just being fucking weird. He's so creepy. It's well lit in this house, and he is creepy as all get out, like just vibrating in place, and you're like, what is that?
I really liked this. I liked this scene, but I did like this scene gave away too much of the cake. Like again, like the way that Leland acts, and credits to Leland's actor too. The thing that, so I have a note in my notes that says Leland has Bob ? There was a point in the first half of that scene where Leland smiles like Bob, and I was like, oh my God, that's what made me write that note before the mirror thing happened. And I was like, wow, oh my gosh, like it's like a possession thing. I was like, this is crazy. And like and the reaction I mentioned to you, like I wrote that note down before the Bob revealed in the mirror.
Yes.
And so I was very I don't know if excited's the right word, but I was like, yeah, I got a thing before they showed. I was happy with myself that I got that part. One thing I wanted to, like, here was a thing that I thought about while watching the episode, that I thought was happening, but then it didn't go anywhere. And I was like, oh, okay. So Donna has those glasses indoors. And I was like, why the frick is Donna wearing sunglasses indoors? And
it's so
I
remembered, weird, but
I remembered that Donna was with Coop. That was the last episode that I saw with Donna, was when she was with Coop. And I was like, oh, like, does Coop suspect that it's Leland? Did Coop send Donna into Leland's house with a camera on the sunglasses to like catch something? Like for a brief moment I had that theory in my head of like that's why Donna's wearing the sunglasses, is to get some sort of proof that like Leland did something here. Like, does Coop know that is separate from the audience of like Coop knowing something's going on with Leland kind of deal? But then it didn't go anywhere, and I was like, oh, okay, so Donna's just wearing sunglasses indoors. Like,
no, Donna's just doing that because sometimes she does that, but also because like you needed to trigger Leland. And like having a Laura thing triggers him. I understand
that. It's just like I was hoping for a girl boss moment for Donna.
A girl boss moment, or something that just actually makes sense in the thing besides like a checklist to do the next thing.
Exactly, the checklist. Yes, it's the checklist. Yep. Like it was that of like, oh, like something needed to happen in order to trip Leland up. Like it's not just, there's no deeper meaning into it. I was hoping there was a deeper like, oh, there's a camera and the sunglasses, like that's what it is. But no, it wasn't. It was just a plot device to drive the plot forward. And like once I realized that that's what it was, I didn't like it as much, and it made me kind of sad. So
yep. But Leland comes back with a lemonade that was definitely drugged, but she didn't drink any of it.
She didn't drink it. I'm proud of her.
And then starts to play some music. As they're dancing, they have fun, and then like they have fun when they're close to each other. Then when he starts holding her hands at a distance, she starts to get weirded out by that. I feel like that should have been reversed.
Yeah, fair.
And then he like hugs her very aggressively.
Yes.
And she's very clearly shaken by that. Which like I get. There's a way to interpret this as like, oh, it's just him again mourning the loss of his daughter, and not for us the viewer, but like for her, of like, oh, still just in that mourning and dancing with someone her age kind of set him off or whatever. But she's clearly shaken by that, rightly so, and it's all weird. And then there's a knock on the door or doorbell, one or the other, but Harry comes in and is like, hey, Maddie hasn't way before this, Leland talked to Maddie's mom and was like, yeah, I sent her to the bus stop myself. So now Harry comes in and is like, hey, we need to talk. There's been another murder. Let's go. Yeah. Doesn't mention that's Maddie, but Donna can put two and two together. And they leave. And then we get another Donna scene. Jesus Christ. As she walks down. I remember this is because she was walking down the road and you were like, oh, is this the moment she's gonna girl boss? Like that's where you said it out loud. Like you were hyped for whatever is about to happen. And I felt inside myself like, no, never. It's Donna. Like I knew what was coming. And I was like, oh my God. Like I can't. Like, why is this following that scene? Like, okay.
So sad. Oh my God.
This scene is hilarious. It's supposed to be heartbreaking. It is so fucking funny. Okay, so she's walking down the road. James pulls up as she gets to like what looks like a pier, right? Or like some kind of whatever. And James comes up and he's like, hey, what's wrong? And she's like, Maddie's dead. And he's like, so I accidentally somewhat spoiled the scene for you, but I don't think you remembered it. During the season 2, episode 8, the episode that came before this, I had referenced them having this argument about like him being like, yeah, well, no, we can't do this. It doesn't matter if we're together, if our love kills people. And it's like, you're not involved in this, you guys. Like, you are so outside of like the sphere of influence of what's happening. You're fine. Like, don't worry
don't
about
overthink it. Yeah.
And I had forgotten that had happened in this scene. In this episode, I thought it was like right before the Evelyn scene.
Okay.
So that's why I mixed it up. But like, yeah, you easily breezed over it. And as I was talking about it, I realized it. And so I like pivoted. Off of there. So this is the scene I was talking about way back. If you remember that, of like,
I don't remember that. Okay.
Yeah, because it was when they had walked in and were talking to Leland while he was golfing in his living room. And you're like, oh yeah, you can feel that the relationship is real close at this point, and later it's a little bit separated or whatever. And then I talked about this scene a little bit, and I was like, oh, whoops.
I see.
But yeah, no. So he is like, it's no good, and she's like, what, us? And it's like, first of all, stop being so narcissistic, Donna.
Yeah.
Like, he just found out that the woman he's cheating on you with died.
Yeah.
Like, which is a whole bag of worms, admittedly.
That is a whole bag of worms.
Like, don't be like, how's our relationship? As he just found out this other woman who he was like semi-close with and was using as a surrogate for Laura, and not treating as an actual person, just died. It's like Laura died again 2 weeks later. Like, rather than treating her like her own person, and now that she's dead. I can say this. I can be mean towards him. I'm not the one trying to fuck him. But like, come on. Like, why are you saying, what do you mean it's all about us? It's like, dude, give him a second. Oh my God. And also his reactions are so funny. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
You should probably talk.
Okay. In the earlier scene with Donna and James, when he gives her the ring, I was like, oh, like I said, I'm calling back to then, like, constantly through this episode, I'm thinking ahead of like, oh, this happens next, so I can figure out the timeline in my head correctly, right? And so in the earlier scene, I was like, oh, like Donna and James, like they're getting married, like he proposed to her. That's so nice. And I was like, wait a minute, is this like, doesn't James go to like the older lady after this? Like, I was like, what happens?
This,
like, yeah. I was like, wait, what happened? Like, I was like so confused of like what happened there. And then this scene happened where James is like, I gotta go. And then Donna's like, don't leave me, James, don't leave me. And then I was like, oh, so it's after this where he's riding on the motorcycle and then he goes to the bar. And I was like, wow, they really, like, that was a very short proposal. That was like 3 hours, like at most. 3 hour proposal.
Seems only like, in there to set up this one to be like, look how happy they are. Now they're gonna break up. And again, you're like,
it felt like a checklist of like, oh, James has to do this thing with this older lady like the next episode. Okay, him and Donna have to break up now. And it's just like, man, I just like the whole after when this scene was happening, and then I realized like, oh, this is happening because James has to go do the car thing next. I was just like,
well, I think that, to be fair, like, if somebody like you and her were like had been the friends of Maddie in town, and then she goes and dies as you were investigating the murder of her cousin and your ex and the best friend, right? Like, I can see that being like, no, we probably need to like call quit, or like, I need some space from this. Like, I actually do get that from like a character driven perspective, but like the way that it portrays it is so fucking funny of like, this is happening because we love each other, or like something. It feels like it's the motivation. You're like, no, it's happening because that dude raped and murdered his daughter. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you guys on right now? Like, I know teenagers think they're the center of the universe, but it is so funny to be like, no, we can't do this because like it's our fault. Like, there's this brilliant part of this where it's like, he's like, we could have saved her. And she's like, how? And he's like, and she's like, how? And it's like, we could have saved her. And she's like, how, James? He's like, I don't know, but we could have. And you're like, oh my God.
Oh like, my God.
It's so funny.
Oh,
man,
yeah,
it's
that
not supposed to be,
scene,
but like, I don't know if it was funny for you.
It wasn't funny. It was just like, oh, like this is happening now because it has to happen, kind of deal. Like I realized that that's what was going on, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I kind of wrote off the scene in my head afterwards.
No, definitely on rewatches, like the first time you have to take it seriously because you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? I need this information. Once you don't, that scene is incredibly funny. On your rewatch of the show in order, I want to know, like, when you hit that scene, if you bust up or not.
Okay.
I wanted to highlight, there's some cool transition shots here of like storm coming in with clouds, and then like some really, really grainy footage of trees. I love it. And that's when we end up at the Roadhouse with the boys, and it's literally all of the boys. It's not just a few of them, all of them.
All of them.
While the show was coming out in season 1, and I think even into season 2, they had run like polls and stuff of like, who do you think killed Laura Palmer? And so all of the guys who were in there were like the people on like the most likely voted to be on that list.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that.
Even though we already know the answer. Like to be clear, we knew the answer the episode before this. You didn't. But like, if you're watching this in order, you know it's Leland for the last few episodes.
Okay,
so a lot of this feels like we don't need a lot. Like, it would have been cool if this was like actually Cooper solving something, but it's not. It's like not. We're gathering everyone together. We're doing this, and like
he gets a magical vision.
Yeah, we're about to get into that one. So he shows up and he literally says like, now I've tried a bunch of things. I've tried deductive technique, Tibetan method. I've tried, this, that, and the other, intuition, luck. And now I need to use magic. And it's like, do you need to, like, this would have been so much cooler if like he used his dream visions to actually solve a thing rather than get told the answer.
That's what I thought. Okay, yes, that's what I thought that this scene was going to be. Was either they use flashbacks or Coop. I think it would be cooler to see, like, I thought that's what they were going for when like the lightning struck and then like the vision of the giant came up, and then like it was like
we're
it seems
referencing
like
things. I should probably go through and say what happens in this scene, so that way it's not just like out of context of like, yeah, the lightning strikes and the giant shows up, and I'm like, okay, actually I should probably for any weirdos who are watching this without watching the show. So they walk in, they bring all of the people. That's Leo in the wheelchair, Bobby who rides Leo's wheelchair disrespectfully. It's super funny. That's the old man with the milk. That's Major Briggs. That's Ed. We obviously have Ben Horn, Leland, and then Harry's there as help, and Albert. So he's like, yeah, we're gonna use magic, and they joke around. The old man gives Coop some gum, and then Leland's like, oh, I love that gum. I used to chew it all the time as a kid. And the old man's like, that gum you like's gonna come back into style, and that's important, but it's not anymore because this episode ruined it. And you don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, but again, it's flat out disrespectful that this is how they do that. And so and so as that happens, there's like a lightning strike, and it does a freeze frame on everybody of like individual shots, which I actually do really like. And then as that happens, the giant shows up, and Coop sees his old vision, where Laura comes in and whispers in his ear, and in a very poor dubbing, because clearly she's whispering something much longer than this. She says, my father killed me. And then the giant has the ring in his hand and then disappears. The ring falls, and then they all determine, hey, let's take Ben Horn to the thing and make sure to bring Leland as your lawyer, right? So yeah, that's the scene in a nutshell. Please continue.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes. So I thought when the lightning struck and then the vision of the giant came up, I thought that it was going to be like Cooper putting the pieces together like in his head. I thought it was going to flash back to like different clues and different kinds of
like you would in a detective mystery. Like
yes, like in a detective
scene
mystery
where you gather everyone and you're like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I thought it was gonna be. Like in any freaking murder mystery ever, you know, where you bring them in all the usual suspects, and then the main titular character is like, I realized when this happened, and the detective then talks through like why they think something happened. I thought that was gonna be this scene, and I was very excited, and then that didn't happen.
No, and then it gets told the answer, and you're like, oh, so Cooper, who seemed really cool, turns out to be a really shitty FBI agent.
Yeah.
Who can't solve this murder.
Okay, very cool. So I was disappointed by the execution of the scene.
Yes.
I don't chalk it up to like the supernatural stuff, because like one thing that this show has done well is mix the murder mystery aspect, like detective, ace attorney kind of aspect, with the supernatural aspect. It meshes them very well together. And so I thought that this scene was going to be the perfect marriage between the two, of like Coop and his smarts and his brain figuring it all out, and then like it's flashbacks to like different supernatural aspects, and like flashbacks to also real life things that happened in the show, and like all of that. And then it didn't happen. I was geared. I thought that the rest of the episode was going to be in the Roadhouse, because so much stuff has, like, the Roadhouse has been a very titular location where a bunch of different things happen. Like, the Roadhouse is where, isn't it like where Miss Twin Peaks happens? Like that is here, right? So like, I was like, oh, well, like actually, this.
So I am confused about where Miss Twin Peaks happens. I think it happens at the Roadhouse, but I think that may be the initial part of it, because like it might happen at the, I was about to say Best Western. No, the Great Northern. It might happen in the hotel where the wedding happened. I don't know
if you're taking a long time to think or if the Wi-Fi broke out.
Oh, no.
I think, the
Wi-Fi broke out. Can you hear me?
Okay,
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Okay. I can hear you now.
I was talking about how it's very confusing, because it's either the Great Northern or the Roadhouse, and it's so hard to tell.
It's hard to tell, but
I
want to say it's the Roadhouse.
Well, I think the initial talking with the judges happens at the Roadhouse, but the actual event happens at the Great Northern.
Okay.
I think is how that happens.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, regardless, the Roadhouse is a very important location, it seems like. Like, that's where Leland's trial is. That's where like a bunch of stuff happens. So like I was mentally preparing myself of like, oh, the Roadhouse is where it all goes down. Like I was like, ready. Like they moved the furniture out of the way. They cleared the path. I was like, oh my God, like I was so excited. And then the scene ended in like less than 2 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. So I was a little disappointed by that. The thing that got me excited was, Laura whispering in Coop's ear in the dream, but like, okay.
Yeah. For what it's worth, people are pretty confident that the one that's in season 3 where she does that exact thing, probably not whispered the same thing.
I figured. Okay.
And again, I think under David Lynch, she would have whispered, "My father killed me."
Yeah.
That's not very Lynchian. As you probably, you've seen a couple things with Lynch now. You know he wouldn't do that. So they take everyone to the jail, unless you had other points to make about this.
No other points.
This is where I felt like I was feeling personally disrespected by this episode.
Okay.
Because of the way that they just told it to him, and then like later, like we talk about the way you solve like certain puzzle pieces after the fact of like Robertson and the dancing or whatever, and it's like
right.
Just throughout this episode, there's like we were told by the studio to give the answer at this point. We gave the answer at that point. But now that we've done that, we want to wrap up and move on to something else. So we have 2 episodes to just wrap everything up, tie up all the loose ends, and move on. And it's like a lot of these loose ends don't make sense with what you're tying them to. A lot of them you didn't need answers for. Like it's just a not understanding the show that came before.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So they're at the jailhouse, or they're at the station, and they're walking in. Coop pulls Harry aside to inform him about the plan. You said it looked like they kiss, and that makes me very happy. And Harry's absolutely down with it. The episode before this, if you remember, he had lost his temper at Coop. He had like, listen, we have to stop like pretending like we have evidence on Ben. Let's just do Ben. Like,
yes,
if you remember,
that's
like
right.
there was like an argument between the two, but like now they're like Coop's like, hey, I'm just doing this to get Leland in there, and Harry's like, yeah, I got it, no worries. Like, sure. And all right, and so they go down. I do like the switcheroo. I think it's clever. It makes sense.
I think it's I like that switcheroo a lot too. Yeah, it was good.
So they go down and they push Leland into there, and Leland has zero chill. Leland is like immediately like, no, fuck this. Like yanks off his jacket, throws it against the wall, starts running against each wall so hard that it literally bends one of them. And it's like, oh, this is a set because like that he's hitting.
That's supposed to be brick, that's supposed to be a
he's
brick
hitting
wall.
that so hard that it like bends. Like he committed fully, like immediately lost it. No chill whatsoever. Thoughts, feelings about the this is also where that scene happens or no, wait, he actually confesses a little bit later. That's where the scene happens.
Yes, it's later.
But it's all in the same bundle.
Yeah, in the same setting. Yeah. I was wondering, like, are they gonna, like, what's the plan here, Coop? Because we know at this point Ben is not the killer, and poor Ben is like, I swear to God, I didn't do it, bro. Like, poor Ben. And then they do the switcheroo. I was busy
fucking Catherine and plotting a different murder.
Yeah. And then they do the switcheroo, and then Ben has like the best voice line in the episode where he goes, Leland, and like it's so good, like, of Ben's reaction of like what's going on here. I just like I really liked that performance from Ben. Ben's actor throughout the entire episode was like, it's my favorite performance of the entire episode. I loved Ben. He was a standout for me.
Yes.
And then when Leland loses his shit in the jail cell, you know, Mac, we're both one and the same. I like slow burns. I like it when, you know, the story takes its time to get to the part where it has to go, right? And like, yes, Leland was going crazy throughout the entire episode with like Donna and, you know, but Leland can pull himself together. Well, I guess Bob can pull himself together when it counts. Like when Harry visited the house and there was like, he switched to Leland immediately. You know what I mean? And so like I was hoping that him in the jail was going to be a little bit more of a slow burn and not just, you know, 0 to 100 real fast.
But Jay.
Yeah.
They needed to wrap this up this episode.
Yeah, I know. That I was about to get to that. They didn't have the time to do that. Oh, it's so so frustrating.
To be clear, they could have had the time, but they were done with this. They didn't want to do it. It's the same way of like, how everyone loves season 8 of Game of Thrones because they were just done with it, and we can all accept that it's done with it. And it definitely doesn't feel disrespectful to the people who watched it and wasted their time with this bullshit, right?
Oh my god, I actually have things to say about Game of Thrones, but that's a different thing for another day.
I actually never watched it. I wasn't
Really?
super into it. I read the books, but I wasn't into the TV show.
I was never into the TV show, but I
lived for the reactions to it though. I watched every video essay about season 8.
Same. Okay. Fun fact.
Lindsay Ellis's in particular.
Fun fact about Game of Thrones, I've only seen that last season because I wanted to see why it was so bad. And like, obviously, I didn't get the full context of like why it was bad because it takes the build up to like figure out why it's bad. But like, it felt okay. Season 8 of Game of Thrones feels like this episode.
Yeah,
actually.
100%.
It feels like this episode because it like things just happen. Like there was no breathing room in season 8, even though it was like I can't remember how many episodes, but it was a lot of episodes. And then like it felt like, okay, this happened, and then now this happens, and then this happened, and then we have to get to this, and then like this happened. Like that's all of season 8 of Game of Thrones. And like this episode feels like that of like, okay, Donna and James have to establish a close, loving relationship, and then 3 hours later in universe they have to break up. Like it's just like it's so. And so with this scene of Leland going crazy, like I was hoping that it would be more of like a Leland, trying to be like, what's going on? Like just a little bit, like 10 seconds of Leland going, what's happening? And then like Harry, going like, you're being arrested for the murder of your daughter, Leland. And then something.
I think the thing that have something like that, and then Coop call him Bob and talk to him like as Bob immediately.
Or something like that. Yes, exactly.
Which gets into a thing I hate, and I'll be talking about it at length for a second in a little bit because we're about to get into that. Actually, you know what? Fucking let's transition over to that.
Let's transition over. Let's go into it.
So after that, they have a sit down with him. Okay, like real quick, Dick comes in, and that's fine and great or whatever. Whatever. Dick's at the station. Okay, so the important part of what we're going to talk about is Leland's downstairs. They are, and they're starting to talk about him, and he's clearly lost it. Great performance. To be clear, great performance by Ray Wise.
Great performance of him. Yes,
he's leaving no crumbs with what they gave him.
Yeah.
But they gave him the meal of a starving prisoner. So like, but he's doing what he can with it. So they're talking about him, and he's losing it, and he makes a clear delineation between himself and Leland Palmer of like, when I'm in here he doesn't remember, and but you'll watch him remember what I've done, and like we are separate, which is the most disrespectful thing to what the entire show's been about, because like the entire show, like, it has this supernatural thing that, like, to a degree could have always been like, is it supernatural? Is it not? Eventually season 3 answers that pretty clearly. This answers that pretty clearly too. But like, it's so much of the show is about like, the violence that men do to women, sure. But like specifically also about like what's hidden behind like prominent households or like whatever, or like it just in the family life. It's like, and it turns out that there's this monster who was like raping his daughter, and it is this monster and is this thing, and like it as a portrayal of abuse. And now this episode's like, but it's not his fault, he's not actually a problem, but because he's a rich powerful white man. Like not to put too fine a point on it, but what the fuck? Actually, when the entire show's been about like these people who have this power in different positions and different ways, who are abusing it and using it to abuse women, and like you find out that it's like it is her dad that did this, right? That's a thing that happens to people and it's horrible. And now they're being like, but we like Ray Wise and we like the character, so therefore he can actually be culpable. And it's disrespectful to the show. It's disrespectful to like the people who found solace in the show. It's disrespectful to like just a whole bunch of shit that this is how they decided to do it, of like, no, he's possessed by a demon and no actual person would do this. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck you. I'm so angry. like unironically, I'm pissed at this more and more. And like something I will again, it feels like also a misunderstanding of what the supernatural stuff was like let's take the trauma out of it. Let's take like the what it means for the real world to do something like this, which I don't want to take that out of it, but like even from a narrative perspective, this fucking sucks and is disrespectful to be like, well, you were never going to guess it because it's a demon possessing him. Right. He needs
it doesn't trust the audience. Yeah.
Like he needs to have some layer of culpability for this to work. Right. And they take that away. And like it by making the supernatural shit so inked out, to make it so like, here's what it is on paper and you can understand all of it. It weakens everything that came before it. Weakens everything that's going to come after it. There's a good portion of the fan base that doesn't consider a lot of this episode canon.
Oh,
and
really?
I agree with that.
Okay. Oh,
and I
interesting.
agree with that.
Okay.
Partially because like when we get back into David Lynch telling this story and telling the stuff with here, like, as you know, Missing Pieces / Fire Walk with Me is a prequel.
Yes.
Yes. To a degree. You also know that. So when that's David Lynch telling this story, right?
Right.
When he does it, and all the times before this, it really and like I think in some of the stuff where he comes back and shows stuff like this, he purposefully blurs the lines between Bob and Leland. He goes out of his way to be like, it's not cut and dry. This is a man who would have done those things.
Right.
So yeah, like it upsets me on every level.
That's fair. I think that's because I haven't watched a lot of season 1, I don't I can see, like, one thing that I've enjoyed about watching this show so far is that the supernatural stuff, it's not just like I made a meme of it whenever we talk about, like, what is this show about, Jay? It's aliens. Like, I made a meme about it of like, oh, like this show has, it's aliens, it's ghosts, it's whatever, it is what it is. But the show is a very good job of like blurring the line of like what is reality and what is supernatural, right? Like what is the actions of the character versus the supernatural aspect that affects them, kind of deal. Like that's one thing that the show is good at, and it's why I had such a hard time deducing what the show has been about, because like it's such a good mix between the two, and it balances the line between that detective aspect and the supernatural aspect. And so the thing that's disappointed me with this episode is that it doesn't toe the line. Like it gives too much of the cake, like I mentioned before. Like I don't like being told what to think of a character. I want to come to that conclusion. Like if it's good storytelling, if it's good character writing, and if you've done your job as the author, the audience can figure it out or make theories on their own of what you're trying to say. You know, I really, if the show went this way of like Bob is just the evil that resides in people, and that can come out at any time. If the show didn't say that explicitly, I feel like I could have came to that conclusion that like Bob isn't really real, like, and like he can be real in the sense of like, you know, in Coop's storytelling, right? Because Coop realizes who Bob is. But I think if Bob was more so as a device to say the evil of man and how Bob can come up anywhere kind of deal, I feel like that could be a better storytelling. And like that's why like I feel I have mixed feelings about the last scene. I know you haven't explained it yet, but I want to get my point across of when Leland is dying on the floor, it feels like it's an act of forgiveness to him. It was weird. I was like, and like the actor of Leland does such a good job of portraying like a broken man of like, oh shit, like I killed my daughter and I killed her cousin. I killed, you know, like all these different people and like shit, like I am like a shitty fucking person. Yeah. And then Coop does like a I wrote the word priest next to Coop because it's like Coop is doing an act of forgiveness that a priest would, of like, go into the light, Leland, it's okay now. And I felt weird about it. I felt like it was like, why is Coop giving this man his divine forgiveness in this, like it felt off. The ending did not sit well with me. It was acted very well. I think, like I said, the actor did a phenomenal job of making me feel bad for Leland. But should I feel bad for him? In some aspects, maybe. I don't know, with like Bob, but like it just felt awkward. It felt weird. I didn't really like that.
It feels like the show forgives him. And you can see that in the way that like after this in the rest of season 2 until we get to the David Lynch sections of it a little bit later where it starts to refocus. But the few times Leland's come up, it's not even treated as like, this is a man who raped and murdered his daughter. It's treated as, oh, this is a lawyer who had bad things happen to him. And you're like, what the fuck? Now that you know that, right? Like
now that I know that, I agree.
The reason why the rest of the season didn't spoil what this was for you was because of how kindly they treat Leland.
Yes, you're so right. You're right. Yeah.
But you know, and I think that like having it be like this demon, like you could use the demon as a metaphor, I guess. Like, God, this feels like my problems with Ari Aster as a director too, with like Hereditary and all of that. But I have some thoughts on that too, for what it's worth. God, maybe that's like, tell me if anybody wants that. Maybe I'll make a video or like put it up on the coffee or something, right? Have you seen Hereditary?
I have, yes.
Okay, maybe that's the thing, is like a bonus episode. Like we record our thoughts.
Or we just talk about it.
I just need to talk about it. Like, it pisses me off so much. In the same way that this episode pisses me off. Like having, you can use a demon as a metaphor for like what this clearly is of like cycles of abuse, because he talks about being a kid and having that happen, like stuff happen to him that way too, and becoming this thing. But then like, by making it in narrative, he had no control over it, and making it in narrative of like, he doesn't remember any of it. Like it's right. It destroys that thematic part too, which again, cycles of abuse, huge for this show, right? We've talked about it before, that it's so clear that's some of the stuff that's in here. And it's like, or, you know, it's just a fucking space demon. I don't know. Yeah. And it could still be a space demon as a metaphor, but then you still need to have him have an awareness of it.
Right.
It can be both, but it can only be both if he has an awareness. Right. Whatever. So Dick sparks up while talking to Andy and Lucy. It causes it to rain indoors. In like, no wonder the sprinkler person was there, which like, oh, they only set up that Leland fucking chews gum this episode. That hasn't been a character trait of his, and now that's important. in the same way, the sprinkler system's busted, and now it's like flooding with like insane sprinklers in this.
Yeah.
But they set it up for this episode so it could rain. Whatever. I do like it, actually, though. I do think it looks good. But yeah, it's which leads to Leland bashing his head against the door. They run in. Leland's dying. Cooper gives him his last rites, essentially. We talked about it. Leland Ray Wise has a fantastic monologue here. He does such a great job. Even in the up-res version of the show we watched, when he dies and he keeps his eyes open as the sprinkler's going, he barely flinches. It's insane.
Yeah.
like fantastic performance. This whole scene, I think this is the scene that people think of when they watch this episode, or like talk about this episode. And I get it. It's well acted. Narratively, it shits over everything. But like, I think people kind of miss that a little bit. But yeah, Leland dies.
Bye, Leland.
You've been hypothesizing this entire time about how Leland would die.
Yeah.
How does this compare?
I think it's a fitting end to Leland's character. Like, I knew that he was gonna die. I just didn't know how that would be. And so I think this is a fitting end to his character. I thought that, like, I played around with theories in my head of like what it would be for Leland to die. Like, I didn't like the thought of, like, you know, Cooper shooting him. I didn't like that thought. I played around with like, oh, Leland, like, is it an accidental death? And I was like, I feel like that doesn't work for his character. Like, it needs to be a purposeful kind of death. And so I think this was the only way that he could go that felt satisfying. And so I think it was well acted and it was well done, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then the boys meet in the woods after he dies to talk about what the fuck they just saw. So Harry's like, well, clearly he was insane, right? And the Major's like, well, there's more in this world than we could ever explain. And Albert's like, well, maybe that's all Bob is, the evil that men do, right? And Coop's like, does it make you feel better to know that a man could like rape and murder his daughter? And Harry's like, no. So I think they conclude that it is a demon. That said, I do think that this creates an interesting little character bit for later for Coop, of the way that he's willing to forgive Leland and pin it all on a demon. I think that, like, in my own headcanon version of this, Leland did remember, but he just wants that forgiveness so much now that he knows it's coming to an end that he's faking it there and like feeling the remorse now that he knows he's going to die. Right. But like, was him, and that Coop, being the type of guy he is, just took that at like face value, and it like isn't like, it creates a character flaw in Coop of like, yeah, I'll forgive this guy, and you know, it's the demon. That's what I'm focused on, and it's like, no, like the people are bad. Like, that's how I have to rationalize it for myself.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
And then they're like, yeah, but if he was in there and then he got out, where's he now? And
where is he now?
Yeah, and then we get flying through the woods, and an inverted owl flies at us, and then it turns to a regular owl, inverted color wise, not upside down. And that's the end of the episode.
Yay!
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions. First of all, any thoughts on that last scene?
I feel like it could, in a different universe, that scene would be completely different. Like, I think it would just be, I I don't know how to rationalize that scene if it was in a different universe, because like I like the thought of like Bob isn't just a demon, it is like the evil within people. I do like that theory a lot. It's just like, how does the show continue from there if that's the case? You know, like I feel like there has to be. So I guess with that in mind, there has to be like a reason for Coop to keep going, and that is like find Bob, right? Like that is what it is. And so it does its job, I guess. The ending scene does its job. So
yeah. But does it? But does it? Because let me ask this next question first before I get into what I have issues with what you just said.
Okay.
If you didn't know what the rest of season 2 was, what do you think the show would be after this?
Okay, if I didn't know where the show goes from here. Wait, can I let me figure out the timeline in my head. The drug thing happened. Is it after is it the next episode? Okay, so it is the drug arc that is after this.
The episode after this, Coop's about to leave and then is framed for cocaine dealing.
Okay, it is that episode. Okay. If I didn't know what the next episode was going to be about, I would have thought that the show takes a more supernatural turn. It feels that they're setting up the show that way, of like, Bob, where's Bob? It's a demon. How are we gonna catch him? Maybe it is like, like I feel like there's so many stones left unturned now that I know what's up next the next episode. Like I feel like Coop could have talked with Donna more about like Laura's secret diary, because Laura like somehow managed to fight back on the demon, right? And I feel like there's something there that's worth investigating. And then I feel like there's some stones that just aren't turned yet after watching this episode. So yeah, it's interesting now knowing that it's the drug thing that's next.
Right. Okay, so here's where I have an issue with what you said, knowing where the show goes. You're like, yeah, because it's about Bob, you know, being this demon going off, and you were talking about like in an alternate universe what all this means. The next thing that happens is Leland's funeral and then the drug charges, and Bob is not important to the rest of the show until the end. Mm-hmm. Right? Like we haven't seen Bob the rest of season 2.
Right.
The few times it's been supernatural, it's been like Wyndham Earl and the White Lodge.
Yes.
And it like where it's directly telling us the supernatural shit, which is a whole other. So like, sure, if it was going to continue on that path and actually like look at it with the magnifying glass and chase after Bob, I could agree with you, but it doesn't.
Right.
We know that. It's like, oh, he's free and he's out there and whatever. And then they leave it be for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I like when I said that knowing where this goes, it's confusing to me, the writing shift, basically. And I know that there was like production issues of like Mark, like everyone leaving the show, basically. I know that. And so, but like you said that they left notes of like, this is where they want the characters to go, but like how detailed were those notes?
I hypothesized that they left notes.
Okay.
I don't know that. At the time I was like, I think what they did was leave notes for them, and then they were like, okay, I guess this is it. I don't know that. I've always said that is a hypothesis of mine.
Okay.
Because of the Josie stuff. That's why I think that is like.
That's fair. That's fair. Because the reason why I say I guess it's fine they ended it the way they did, because what happens next. Like, it's more up in the air. Like, I really can't justify the ending of this episode. No. Knowing where it goes now, it's like, I understand, like, they had to wrap it up, right?
But they didn't.
But they didn't really. Yeah, that's what I wanted to point out is, like, there's so much left with Laura. Like, there is so much left with Laura's character that isn't explored. And I imagine I'll get more of that from season 1. And so I guess I'm left confused because knowing what the next episode is, it feels like that's why I was so convinced that it was a murder mystery show the entire time, right? Because the supernatural takes a big backseat aside from like the White Lodge stuff until the very end. And so that's why for the longest time I could not fathom like it's possession. You know what I mean? It's demon possession that caused all of this.
On that note, like I was able to solve the murder before any of this happened. I knew that it was Leland, like before all this happened. Like I solved that myself in season 1. My Evie did that. I think my mom started to come around midway through season 2. So if you're watching it normal, you can solve it like a murder mystery.
Okay.
But then it's just demon possession.
Yeah. That's why I feel like it's weird that the show forgives Leland. It's weird. It's very
so weird.
It's very strange. I can't get over the fact that scene happens. It's like
it's weirder than you know with additional information that like episodes I've seen. It's weirder than you know that they forgive Leland.
Okay, interesting. Cause like, yeah, I just you know, there's episodes that Leland's a little odd, you know, he's a little weird. And then, you know, the episode before this chronologically, is Leland with freaking Maddie in the trunk of his car and like he's weird, but like I still thought that like, oh, like maybe this is him snapping because of like of Laura's death. And so to find out that it's just like, oh, it's a demon that's killing people for the sake of killing people, it's not satisfying. It doesn't feel good. So yeah.
So I have a sneaking suspicion about what you're going to say about this.
Okay.
Would you agree with my ranking of this episode?
Okay. I don't think it's better than the season 3 episodes I've watched. I don't think... I'm looking through my notes here. The one-armed man. I liked that episode. The man in the glass. Season 2, episode 3. I liked that episode because it was the same kind of like pieces are put together, but it was more breadcrumby. It was definitely more breadcrumby than this episode. This episode was just the cake. I don't think I like it more than season 2, episode 5, which is when Hawk comes in and saves the day.
Yeah.
I would put it. Yeah, I would put it above Missing Pieces. Just because of the maybe it is my revelation brain, like the amount of revelations I got in this episode is biasing my ranking. I would have to rewatch the show again in order to like solidify this, but I would put it just above Missing Pieces.
To be fair, Missing Pieces is out of order too because we put it in the funniest spot, not in the actual ranking spot.
You know what? You're right. So I'll put it there for now tentatively. That's where my tentative placing is.
I would drop it below season 1, episode 2.
Okay.
Probably. which is
that's
which
pretty
is
far down there.
That's right by Missing Pieces. I think that's like one episode off from Missing Pieces.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Purely off the back of the strength of acting from Ray Wise.
Yes.
Again, you get rid of that, it's instantly in the bottom 5.
Yes, it's not a good episode.
When I
agree.
first said that, you were like, what? No way. And then like as you start to drop it down, we're already pretty close to that initial bottom 5. Yeah, no. I don't have a defense for this one. I think part of it is also the pressure of people liking this episode, people rating this episode pretty well. And the more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that they're wrong. Yeah, it's not a good one. I'm trying to see where the IMDb list is for it.
Like just to go off of that real quick, like even structurally, it's not a good episode. Like it's all over the place. Like it feels like a roller coaster ride and not a good one. It's a straight roller coaster ride where you're just on it and you watch things happen, and then Ben is off to the side, and then it turns around, and then Leland's dead, and then you're back at the beginning of the roller coaster ride. Like that's it. Even structurally, it's not a good episode. The things that stand out, like I imagine the things that people cling on to are Leland's performance. Like I think that is a huge one. And I want to say Ben's performance.
Yes,
Ben is very good this episode.
Does a great job. Yeah,
he is great this episode. Those are the only things that I can think of like why this episode rates so highly. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
No, it can't be. People rate this in the top 5 episodes of Twin Peaks.
Really?
In IMDb.
That's surprising. That's surprising to me.
They're all wrong. If you think that, you're wrong. Like, okay, no, to be clear, like, it's fine if you like this episode. To think it's the top 5. I can name, oh my God, how? Like, I was like, I was trying to find it, but like, I kept stopping around 20 because I was like, there's no way it's rated higher than that. It is the 5th most highly rated episode of Twin Peaks.
Wow. I wonder if it's because like you get those revelations and that's why people like it so much. I'm wondering if it's like that's the case. Like it's people comparing their notes.
Are at this point.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mentioned earlier is like if you have good writing, you don't need to give the whole cake like this. Like yes, you do need to wrap it up, but it doesn't have to be freaking Donna reading pages of Laura's secret diary, spelling it out for you. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be that.
Hey, and so if you're watching this and this is one of your favorite episodes, if you're one of those people, hell, if you even rate it any higher than this, like without attacking us, please, please defend this episode. Like, what am I missing having seen this 6 times? Like, because the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. I like that. But like, not like, even at the time, I would have put it as a top 5. And every time I watch it more, I hate it. But like, if you are one of those people, please let me know why. Please say something. Please defend this episode, because like I lost it while watching this episode. Clearly, I'm off of it right now. Like it's how. Anyways. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That's an episode. I'm very curious about the rest of season 1 now. I I'm going to throw this comment because if you're watching this in our order, you'll realize that I haven't watched a majority of season 1. And like, I don't want to see, like, if there's any comments out there, you feel like, oh, now the show's ruined for you because you know the climax of, you know, the big mystery of season 1. This makes me more excited to see season 1, if anything, because now I get to see, like, one thing I really liked when watching this episode is seeing, like, this is why I like watching episodes out of order, because I loved seeing, oh, this is where this goes. This is the start of this. This is where, like, I like seeing that kind of progression. And so if anything, this actually makes me more excited to see season 1 because I want to see where I want to be able to pick out now, like, when do we get those clues of Leland? When does, like, I'm still waiting for Josie. Like, I really want to see the freaking femme fatale Josie. Like, I'm still excited to see that. And so this, if anything, this just makes me more excited to watch the rest of it. So, yeah.
Yep. Having talked through it, how do you feel about the episode? I think we covered that part. Okay, next part. Next episode that we watch, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay, let me pull up our list here.
27.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. I think this will be a return to form of breadcrumbing properly. I think I'm hoping that it will be proper breadcrumbing. I'm hoping that it will be like proper I don't want to say story building, not that it's bad story building, but I like being able to piece together things on my own. And so I think that this episode will give me more of that, to give me more arsenal for a future later episode. So
all right. Yep. Is there something else I do at the end here? Oh yeah, I usually defend my position. I'll have to defend it the opposite way around. This episode is trash. I think I've made that clear. I think I made it clear how I feel about it. I don't think I need to do the defending or not defending of it anymore. But like, no, it's just straight up disrespectful in every way. So yeah. Yeah. So I think on that note, we call it here. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, the other thing I would typically ask is like, oh, and what do you think happens next in the narrative? But you know that, like, we skipped through the rest of this season. So, it's not worth asking that. Oh, yes. You said you had a hard time answering this, despite making it kind of like a meme of like, it's about aliens. But what is this show about? If we couple this with the last, like, again, if we take it in chunks of like 4 episodes or so, like on a run, what is this episode about? So this would be this episode, and then the season 3's, and then the season 1 episode 5.
Okay, I think this show is about human nature and the human experience. I think this show is now that I'm getting more David Lynch stuff, this show feels like a social commentary on human nature. It's no longer aliens anymore. It's no longer ghost stories. It's no longer a murder mystery. It is no longer any of that. This show is just David Lynch commentating on human experience. That's what this show is about.
Well, shit, I don't think I can ask that question anymore because that's a pretty damn good answer. Yeah, no, like especially if you bundle these together, I think part of it is like what makes it about human stuff is the echoes that we get from like these 25 years separated things that are echoing between each other of like, we're still like this and it's getting worse, but we're still like this 25 years later. What does that say about us?
Oh my gosh. Society is just cyclical, but we times it by 100 every time we pass the cycle, it seems like. So it's interesting to see a show that is so like, it does a good job of like very abstractly showing kind of where we're at with society. It's very interesting to see that. So I'm excited.
I'd also argue that like it's a little bit about like what is the line between like human nature and forces beyond us? Like what is that line and where is it? And like, can you even define that necessarily? Kind of feels like it's a little bit in there, particularly with these episodes here. Oh yes, there's a thing I can talk to you about. Oh my god. Okay. Hi Jay. Hey, how's it going? Hi. Do you remember?
Hi, MacK.
Do you remember season 3, episode 2? There was a moment in there where I was like, I can't talk to you about this. Where Leland is like, find Laura. And Coop is like, okay, and then leaves?
Yes.
Now knowing what you know about this, how's that sit with you? Where are you feeling that? How's that?
Oh, interesting. Is Laura... Oh man, is Laura... Laura is clearly a representation of something. She is a physical manifestation of some sort of concept. It seems like. So when Leland's character says find Laura, is it find good again? Because like Coop's doppelganger like is a bad guy, and so I'm wondering, is Coop like, there's so it brings context of season 3 in a different light for me, because I was like, is Coop like, we talked about it in the last episode, like, is Coop only stuck in the red room because his doppelganger, like there can only be one Coop in the world, but is it more so that Coop, like, is the piece of Coop missing on the doppelganger the Coop that is in the red room? Like, is the Coop in the red room like the Bob of Coop that is missing in the doppelganger version of Coop? Like, that's, I'm wondering if like Coop has to find Laura in order to bring himself back into that version of himself. Like, it brings the context of season 3 in a different light for me that way. Like, I don't think there's two Coops. I think there is a part of doppelganger Coop missing that Laura can provide for him, kind of deal. So it's I'm curious of like where that relationship is, of if like that's what Leland is trying to tell Coop there. So
interesting. Okay. Okay, so that'll do it for us.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I suddenly remembered that I could talk to you about that a little bit. Well, I can, but like I could hear your thoughts on it. Yeah, so that'll do it for us. But remember to save the Pine Weasel. God, that's so long ago.
That's so long ago at this point.
Remember the Pine Weasel? Oh, it's probably extinct in the modern in the modern Twin Peaks. It's probably dead. Save the Pine Weasel.
And brush your teeth. I'm recording now. Okay.
Well, because the second you started to say that, I was like, well, shit, here's the thing, right? So to backtrack, I was apologizing of like I may have tipped my hand too early and kind of tainted your perspective. To which you said,
it's a bad episode structurally. Like it's okay. It's not edited the way I expect Twin Peaks to be edited. Like, Twin Peaks is very much like, you know, like you see a little bit of this character and then you see it later. And then, like, it's not edited that way at all. It feels like
three
it
scenes
really
with Donna back to back.
Yeah, like, it's so, like, it's structurally not what I expect of a Twin Peaks episode. It is, like, objectively, it's not a good, okay, this feels like a soap opera, like a bad soap opera, like Days of Our Lives episode. That's what makes this episode bad, is like, because, like, this is the type of episode that I would put on and, like, just watch through and like nothing really happens, but then like obviously there's the big climax at the end of the episode that happens, but like everything before that is like it feels like a Days of Our Lives episode where things just like we tell you the answer now, like the question that you asked 2 episodes ago or 1 episode ago, it's answered now. Like that's what this episode feels like. And so structurally, it's not a good episode. Like I really, the thing that I'm banging my head against the wall over is freaking, Donna gets this letter and it just tells her the answer. You know what I mean? And so it's meant to tell the audience the answer. That's the scene that makes me like, oh, this is just bad storytelling. Like this is just a check mark that they have to hit in order to make it to the next scene. And that's what makes it more soap opera-y to me, is like there's a magical character, this lady that's never been seen before, and I'm sure she never shows up ever again because she doesn't. And so like she's only meant to do one, you know what I mean? I hate episodes or shows that do that, of like just railroading the story along for the sake of storytelling. And it just ruins the fun aspect of the show. Like like I said, I fricked up my algorithm on YouTube, and so every once in a while I'll get like a Twin Peaks freaking video on YouTube from like a random YouTuber, and it's always, what I've noticed is that the main like gist of all these videos on YouTube is like, can I figure Twin Peaks out before the end of the show?
Oh, the Chase Bridges video. I love his say. He did that first and like built his channel off of it. So good. Go check it out if you're into Twin Peaks. That's
what like I expect of the show, is that it's going to breadcrumb you the entire way until there's a pivotal moment where you have all the pieces, and then now the main character gets all the pieces too. Right? And so like this episode didn't do that.
No.
It just told you everything that you needed to know, you know? And it's just like, that's what makes it a frustrating watch, because like, that's why I'm like sitting here and I'm like, we're getting answers. We're getting answers now. But I'm like, why is it telling it to me this way? You know, like I like it when I get it breadcrumbed to me. And so that's what makes this episode disappointing. So I don't think... Yeah, sorry, go.
No, it's fine, but you really should watch the Log Lady intros. Because legitimately, the Log Lady intro for this one is basically her going like, see, you didn't want answers. Sometimes you don't want answers. Sometimes you want to figure stuff out, and sometimes the question is more important than the answer, and you want to sit in that. You don't want this. See, look at what happens. Look at what happens. Is essentially what the Log Lady intro is for this.
What? Crazy.
And for the rest of the second season, it's like, so are you guys happy now that you got your answers and now this is what the show is? Are you happy now? This is what you wanted? Sometimes you have too much of a good thing. Sometimes you eat too much and it makes you sick. Don't do that.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's actually, okay, I will watch the Log Lady. Now that I've watched, okay, what episodes am I missing of season 2? Just the last couple, right? Or is there missing... No, there's 8. No. I'm missing I'm missing one episode that's in the middle of season 2. Just the one. There's the one
not
episode
even the middle.
in the middle.
It's near the end of it. You're missing season 2, episode 20. You're missing the season finale of it, 22, and then you're missing some of the early stuff before this of like episodes 1 and 2 of season 2, as well as like 6 and 7. I believe. I think you've seen 5 already. I think that's what you're missing of season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So. I will watch the Log Lady stuff now. I will watch that. I've been avoiding it. Not that like, okay, the Log Lady pisses me off. Rest in peace, bless her soul. I think she's a lovely lady. Yeah. But like her shit really pisses me off. But now that I know kind of like the gist of the show, I'm curious as to what kind of commentary she adds. So
yeah, 100%. Like if you know that it's like filmed by David Lynch, written by David Lynch, and it's her performing those, you absolutely can read meta commentary onto like what the show is like back when it's good versus when it's later, because he wrote it like a couple years later, I believe.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So it wasn't like for the initial thing. It was like after they had done the entire show, he had started and they were re-airing it. He had written these and done these.
Basically, so what you're telling me is that some of it is him shit talking in a meta commentary.
Yes. 100%. Yes, it is. It is absolutely iconic.
Okay. That makes me way more interested in watching the Log Lady stuff now.
Yeah. What is the stuff that he had control over and was good with or liked? A lot of it is that like maybe stuff you won't like as much of like, oh, here's some hints, here's this, that, or the other. But like as it gets into the like actual stuff, like it'll be commentary on the episode of like, oh, interesting that this, that, or the other, right? As it gets into this stuff, he's like, all right, sit down. We need to talk.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. It's so good.
I'm recording now.
Oh my god, we're gonna have 2 false endings. Ridiculous. But like
people are gonna look at the last section. They'll be like, why is there like 10 minutes left of this episode?
To be clear, I didn't think we were gonna do this, but then as I rattled off the 3, I was like, "Fuck it!" We kind of have to now. Okay. So it's Bob, Leland, and Mrs. Tremont. Fuck, marry, kill.
Okay, fuck, marry, kill. Okay, fuck. This is hard. Okay, I would kill.
I feel like kill's the easy one, but
kill is the easy one, but like it's between Leland and Bob, basically.
Right.
Like Bob. Okay, the reason. I want to kill Leland because the realization of him raping his daughter makes me freaking. Gross. So I'm going to kill him.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to. I guess I'll fuck Bob. That might be a fun time. And then I'll marry Mrs. Tremont because she seems just like a normal lady. She seems like she'll just cook me good food. We can live our retirement together. She seems like she's living a good life in retirement. So I will marry her.
Yeah. That feels appropriate. That is tough actually, because like, can you even really kill Bob as a manifestation of evil that way? You can say you'll kill Bob, and that feels like the obvious answer, but then it's like, are you even capable of that? Like, is that? I guess if this is like you had the metaphysical capabilities to, I'd kill Bob. But I don't want to fuck Leland. Actually, I do. He is hot. Yeah, I think I do reverse it from you. I think I kill Bob.
Okay.
Let's end all evil in the world. That can't go wrong. That can't have ramifications that I haven't thought about. So let's kill Bob. Let's fuck Leland, because I'm not going to marry Leland after finding out what he's done. And then, yeah, I agree with you. Mrs. Shimon seems like a lovely old lady.
Like a lovely lady.
Seems like a little bit of a firecracker, and I could use that in my life.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So more importantly, though,
okay,
it's married, pirate, or gang.
Married, pirate, or gang. Okay. Bob. Okay, my initial gut reaction is Bob gang, but I actually think Bob pirate.
Yeah.
Bob pirate it seems right. Like he kind of like, steals people's brains and bodies and makes them do evil things, and maybe I feel like he's captain of the pirate ship. Like that's the most suited role for him. He's the captain of the pirate ship. Gang, like, okay, here's like this is where my mind, I think it would make a fun. The obvious choice for gang would be Leland. However, I'm going to put Leland as married because he's actually married. And I think funny, haha, is that Mrs. Tremont is gang, but she's like the sleeper agent, like gang member. Like she's not married. She doesn't have any kids. She lives alone. And like, it's just like, it's the perfect front for a gang house where she's at with that kind of mentality. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Mrs. Tremont as gang and Leland as married.
I'm so angry because, like, yes, that's the exact order I would do, for largely the same reasons. Leland is clearly married because he is married. Bob, like pirates, like I know we all have fun, haha, pirates, but they did rape and murder, and that's there's Bob for you. And in addition to that, so quick clarification. Yes, I am aware that pirates didn't literally have captains. They only had captains insofar as like would command them on attacking. Otherwise, they were very democratic. Didn't have a captain that decided stuff. Whatever. And I also know that like they played up a lot of the horror stories. Like that was a big thing with Blackbeard, is that like he would purposely spread information about stuff that he never did, like skinning babies and doing all that in order to terrify people into surrendering early. But pirates also did do the horrible shit, to be clear. So Bob, 100% pirate, and insofar as the captain goes, sure, fully agree with you. Like if we're looking at it as stereotypical pirate captain, rather than the democratic whatever. The slight disagreement I have with you is that like it's not funny, haha. Miss Tremont is absolutely a gang member. She's cooking cocaine, or like she's cooking crack. That's a drug house. Like you don't have that kind of fashion sense and that bright garishness unless you're dabbling in drug running.
Yeah, fair enough.
But like the second you were like, well, I think as a funny haha, I'm gonna put her as gang, I was like, fuck, there goes my reasoning, there goes my thing of what I was gonna push for. But no, we're just in alignment. That's fine.
We're just so in alignment, Mac. We're like this.
Yes. I can't see what that was, but I'm gonna agree with it.